The sky above Houston glowed with unusual lights that night. Not the familiar twinkle of stars or flicker of satellites, but something different. Something alien. Commander Alan Wright stood on the roof of the Space Defense Center, his eyes fixed on the massive ship that hovered 20 miles above Earth. After years of training for this moment, first contact had finally happened, but not as anyone expected. The aliens had simply appeared 3 days ago, bypassing all early warning systems. "They're requesting you by name again, sir," said the young officer beside him. Alan nodded. "Tell them I'm on my way." Inside the control room, diplomat Lisa Carlson waited. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a tight bun, her expression serious but calm. "Ready for round 2?" she asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Alan replied. The first meeting with the aliens, who called themselves the Galactic Hegemony, had been brief and formal. They claimed to represent 17 different species united in peaceful cooperation. Now they wanted detailed discussions about Earth potentially joining their alliance. The transport beam felt like warm water washing over Alan's skin. One moment he stood in the secure chamber on Earth. The next he materialized aboard the alien vessel named Immutable Order *. 2 very different creatures waited for them. The taller one resembled a praying mantis with iridescent blue exoskeleton and 4 arms. The shorter had smooth green skin and large, amphibian eyes that blinked sideways. Commander Wright, diplomat Carlson. The mantis-like alien spoke through a translation device. "I am High Observer Kriz of the Trizzy. My companion is Delegate Moop of the Krell." The room they entered looked nothing like yesterday's meeting place. The temperature was cooler, the gravity lighter. "We adjust environments for each session," Moop explained, his voice bubbling. "Today is optimized for Krell biology. Tomorrow will suit Trizzy needs." "That's considerate," Lisa said, "but unnecessary for us. Humans adapt well to different conditions." The aliens exchanged glances. "Remarkable," Kriz clicked her mandibles. "Most species require specific environments to function properly." The meeting proceeded with questions about Earth's history, government, and technology. The aliens seemed particularly interested in how humans had developed different societies in different environments. "Your species lacks specialization," Kriz noted. "In the hegemony, each member race has clear evolutionary purpose. The Trizzy are strategists and builders. The Krell are diplomats and biologists. The Vormekh control transportation networks. The Jix handle agriculture. Humans do everything," Alan said. "Some better than others, but we're not limited to specific roles." "Inefficient," Moop commented, "but fascinating." Suddenly, alarms blared. The room's lights shifted to red. "Environmental system failure," a voice announced in the alien's language, then in English. "Oxygen levels dropping. Gravity fluctuations imminent." The aliens froze. Kriz's antennae twitched frantically while Moop's skin paled to white. "Your emergency protocols?" Lisa asked. "Automatic systems should engage," Kriz replied, "but they're not responding." Alan moved quickly to a control panel on the wall. Different from Earth technology, but he recognized basic environmental controls from the briefing documents. "The backup system is locked in Vormekh configuration," he said. "Can I override it?" "Impossible," Moop gasped, struggling to breathe. "Only Vormekh engineers can." Alan ignored him, fingers already working the unfamiliar controls. He bypassed 3 security measures and reconfigured the system based on patterns he observed during transport. The alarms stopped. The lights returned to normal. Fresh air flowed into the room. Kriz and Moop stared at Alan in silence. "How did you do that?" Kriz finally asked. "Those systems require special training and specific neural patterns." Alan shrugged. "I watched how your crew operated the transport controls earlier. The patterns seemed similar. You adapted," Moop said slowly, as if discovering a new concept. "That's what humans do," Lisa explained. "We see problems, we solve them. We adapt. More Hegemony officials arrived, checking systems and speaking urgently in their languages. Ellen noticed their expressions, or what passed for expressions on alien faces. They looked concerned, perhaps even afraid. The Hegemony values stability and order above all, Chris told them as the meeting concluded. Your adaptability is unusual. As they prepared to return to Earth, Lisa whispered to Alan, I don't think they mean that as a compliment. Alan nodded. I noticed. Being unpredictable makes them nervous. Neither human realized just how nervous they had made the Hegemony, or how dangerous the aliens would soon consider humanity to be. 1 month after first contact, the Hegemony sent their assessment team to Earth. Their massive ship landed in a field outside Denver that had been cleared for their arrival. A team of 7 aliens emerged, led by a tall, thin creature with gray skin and 6 fingers on each hand. I am Senior Evaluator Jixcroll, the alien announced to the waiting humans. We will determine if your species is compatible with Hegemony standards. Alan Wright and Lisa Carlson stood at the front of the Human Welcome Committee. Neither liked how the aliens said, compatible. We look forward to demonstrating Earth's capabilities, Lisa said with a diplomatic smile. The assessment began the next day. The aliens set up testing stations across different environments: deserts, mountains, cities, and oceans. They brought strange devices that measured things the humans didn't understand. At the mountain facility in Colorado, Dr. Susan Martins noticed something odd about the alien equipment. A planetary scientist with a background in energy physics, she detected unusual readings whenever the aliens activated their technology. These energy signatures don't match what they told us about their systems, she told Ellen when they met for coffee. They're hiding something. Alan frowned. Keep watching, but be careful. We need to know what we're really dealing with. The tests continued for weeks. Humans were asked to solve problems, demonstrate technologies, and explain Earth's history. The aliens seemed particularly interested in how humans had adapted to different environments and situations throughout history. Your people moved from caves to space in a very short time, Jixcroll noted during one evaluation. Most species require millions of years to make such changes. We're quick learners, Alan replied. Jixcroll made a sound that might have been a laugh, perhaps too quick. During the 4th week, disaster struck. A flash flood hit the testing site near the Arkansas River. Water surged through canyons and valleys with little warning. Both humans and aliens were caught in the path. Alan was meeting with Jixcroll when the alarm sounded. They rushed outside to see water already rising around the facility. Our equipment, Jixcroll cried. The data is irreplaceable. But the humans were already moving. Emergency teams deployed inflatable barriers. Engineers quickly rewired power systems to higher ground. Medical personnel set up treatment areas for the injured. Alan grabbed a rope and waded into rising water to reach a stranded alien researcher. The alien froze in panic, unable to swim in Earth's water. Alan tied the rope around both of them and pulled them to safety. Nearby, Lisa coordinated evacuation efforts, reassigning vehicles and creating new escape routes as roads flooded. Susan Martinez repurposed weather monitoring equipment to track the flood's path, giving precise warnings about which areas would flood next. When it was over, the damage was severe but no lives were lost. Most of the alien equipment had been saved. The Hegemony team gathered in their temporary shelter, watching the humans continue their efficient disaster response. Remarkable, whispered a smaller alien to Jixcroll. None of them were trained specifically for flood response, yet they all adapted to new roles instantly. Yes, Jixcroll replied quietly. That is precisely what concerns me. That evening, Susan asked to meet Alan and Lisa secretly. They gathered in a storage room that Susan had checked for listening devices. I've been analyzing their energy readings, Susan said. Their ships aren't just transport vessels. They're heavily armed with weapons far beyond what they've shown us. Why hide their weapons? Lisa asked. Maybe they don't trust us, Alan suggested. Or maybe they're not here just to evaluate us. Susan pulled out a small device. I managed to copy some of their data while helping move their equipment during the flood. They'd been analyzing Earth's resources, minerals, metals, water, everything a spacefaring empire might want. And they're very interested in how quickly humans adapt to new situations, Lisa added. Ellen looked between them. I think we need to prepare for the possibility that this assessment isn't about inviting Earth to join their club. It's about deciding what to do with us. As they spoke, on the Hegemony vessel, Jix Kroll was sending a message to the Hegemony Council. Human adaptability exceeds all predictions. Recommend immediate action before they become unmanageable. 3 days after the flood, the Hegemony called for a special meeting with Earth's leaders. Representatives from all major nations gathered in the United Nations building in New York. Ellen, Lisa, and Susan sat together near the back of the room. Senior evaluator Jix Kroll stood before the assembly, his gray skin reflecting the bright lights. We have completed our assessment of humanity, he announced. The Hegemony Council has made its decision. The room fell silent. This was the moment everyone had been waiting for since first contact. Humanity has been classified as evolutionarily unstable, Jix Kroll said. Your adaptability exceeds acceptable parameters for full membership. Murmurs spread through the crowd. The President of the United States stood up. What exactly does that mean for Earth? Jix Kroll's six-fingered hands moved in a graceful pattern as he explained. The Hegemony offers Earth protected status. You will receive limited technology sharing, defense from outside threats, and cultural exchange opportunities. He paused before continuing. In exchange, Earth must limit its population growth, restrict space exploration to your local system, and allow hegemony bases on your moon and in designated Earth territories. Resource extraction rights will be granted to hegemony members in these areas. The room erupted in voices. Some leaders looked interested, others angry. That's not membership, Lisa whispered to Alan. That's occupation. The Chinese representative stood up. And if we decline this generous offer? Jix Kroll's expression didn't change. That would be unfortunate. Unstable species represent potential threats to galactic harmony. The Hegemony would need to take preventative measures. They're threatening us, Susan whispered. The meeting ended with Earth's leaders agreeing to consider the proposal. As people filed out, Lisa noticed a smaller alien from the Hegemony delegation watching her. The alien gestured subtly toward a side door. Lisa nudged Alan and Susan. Follow me. In a small conference room, they met the alien, who introduced himself as Vex, a junior data analyst. I risk much by speaking to you, Vex said in a quiet voice, but you should know the truth about unstable species classification. He showed them a hidden data file on a small device. In the last 1,000 years, 17 species have been labeled unstable. 12 were placed under protected status. 5 refused. What happened to those 5? Alan asked. Vex's large eyes blinked slowly. They no longer exist. Susan gasped. They were wiped out. The Hegemony calls it pacification, Vex explained. Species that adapt quickly can eventually surpass the founding members. This cannot be allowed. Before they could ask more questions, Vex left quickly. The 3 humans looked at each other in stunned silence. Later that night, they met with several world leaders in a secure location. Alan explained what they had learned. We need more proof, the British Prime Minister said. I think I can get it, Susan replied. During the flood, I placed a small device on their ship that can access some of their communications. The next day, Susan downloaded data from the Hegemony vessel. The information confirmed everything Vex had told them. It also revealed the Hegemony's true interest in Earth, its abundant water, diverse minerals, and strategic position in the galaxy. When confronted with this evidence, Jix Kroll didn't deny it. You must understand, he told the Emergency Council, stability requires sacrifice. Your species changes too quickly, learns too readily. Given time, Humans would disrupt the balance we have maintained for millennia. So we're supposed to limit ourselves because you're afraid of what we might become? Alan asked. Yes, Jix said simply. That is exactly what we require. The president stood up. Then we have nothing more to discuss. Earth rejects your offer of protected status. We will determine our own future. Jix expression darkened. Then you leave the hegemony no choice. You have 30 Earth days to reconsider before we implement containment protocols. As he left, Lisa turned to Alan. Did we just start an interstellar war? Alan nodded grimly. Yes, and we're outmatched in every way except one. What's that? Asked Susan. Our ability to adapt, Alan replied. And that's exactly what they fear most about us. The hegemony ships appeared 3 days after the deadline. Hundreds of vessels formed a blockade around Earth, preventing any spacecraft from leaving orbit. Admiral Alan Wright, promoted after his handling of the first contact, stood on the bridge of the Earth defense vessel Defiant watching the alien fleet on the main screen. They're not attacking yet, said Kate Nelson, Earth's top military strategist. A former chess champion with short red hair and intense green eyes, Kate had been tasked with creating defense plans against an enemy with far superior technology. They want to scare us into surrender, Alan replied. Classic intimidation tactic. On Earth, governments rushed to prepare. Old military bases were reactivated. Weapons manufacturing increased. Scientists worked around the clock studying the limited alien technology they had access to. Lisa Carlson established communication with representatives from other species under hegemony control. Many were sympathetic to Earth, but afraid to help openly. The hegemony has ruled for thousands of years, a reptilian Skreth diplomat told her in a secret transmission. No one dares challenge them. In her laboratory at CERN, Susan Martinez led a team analyzing the data they had gathered on hegemony technology. They made an interesting discovery. Their weapons and shields are incredibly powerful, she explained to Alan and Lisa during a video call. But they haven't changed in centuries. There's no innovation, no variation. Because they value stability over everything else, Lisa said. Exactly, Susan nodded. They've perfected specific systems for specific purposes. But if we can create something they haven't seen before. The conversation was interrupted by alarms. The hegemony had launched its first attack, a precision strike against Earth's largest satellite communication station in Australia. The facility was destroyed in seconds. A demonstration, Kate said when they received the news. They're showing what they can do without starting full-scale war. Alan called an emergency meeting with Earth's military leaders. We can't match their firepower, he told them. But we can fight differently. They expect us to defend fixed positions with conventional weapons. Let's do the opposite. Under Alan's direction, Earth forces adopted guerrilla tactics. Small, fast ships attacked hegemony vessels and quickly retreated. Earth's remaining satellites were moved to unexpected orbits. Communication systems switched frequencies randomly. The hegemony responded with increasingly powerful attacks, but their targeting systems relied on predictable patterns. When human forces didn't behave as expected, the aliens struggled to adapt. 2 weeks into the conflict, an Earth strike team led by Kate Nelson managed to disable and capture a small hegemony scout ship. The crew abandoned the vessel before it could be boarded, but the ship itself remained intact. Susan and her team immediately began examining the captured technology. This is fascinating, she told Ellen when he visited the secure facility where they kept the ship. Their systems are modular and standardized. Every component has a specific function and connects to others in only one way. Is that good or bad for us? Ellen asked. Susan smiled. Both. Their technology is more advanced, but completely inflexible. Look at this. She showed him how they had modified the ship's energy weapon by connecting components in ways the hegemony never attempted. They designed perfect systems for specific tasks, she explained. But they never experiment with new configurations. We've already doubled the efficiency of their energy converter by simply rearranging the components. Meanwhile, Lisa made contact with a species called the Vosh. According to her source, the Vosh had once been powerful, but were nearly wiped out by the Hegemony centuries ago for being dangerously adaptive. The survivors have been hiding within Hegemony territory, Lisa reported. They might be willing to help us. As the conflict entered its second month, the Hegemony launched a major assault against Earth's moon base. They expected minimal resistance from the lightly defended outpost. Instead, they encountered completely redesigned weapons based on their own technology. Earth forces had adapted Hegemony shields to create reflective barriers that turned the aliens' energy weapons against them. For the first time, a Hegemony battle group was forced to retreat. In their command center, Jixkrull and the Hegemony generals stared at the battle reports in disbelief. "Impossible," one general said. "They've modified our technology in ways that should take decades of research." "No," Jixkrull replied grimly. "This is exactly what we feared. They adapt, they change, and they do it faster than any species we've encountered before." The success at the moon base changed everything. For the first time, humans had defeated Hegemony forces in direct combat. News spread quickly through Earth, and more importantly, through the Hegemony fleet. In her lab, Susan worked with her team day and night. The captured Hegemony ship provided invaluable insights into alien technology. They created hybrid systems that combined human ingenuity with alien engineering. "Their power systems are amazing," Susan told Alan during a rare break. Her eyes were tired but excited. "But they only use them in specific ways. We found at least 12 new applications they never thought of." Alan picked up a small device from her workbench. "What's this?" "A shield disruptor," Susan said with pride. "It creates random frequency patterns that confuse their defensive systems. They're designed to block specific energy signatures, not constantly changing ones." Across the world, humans displayed remarkable creativity. Farmers converted irrigation systems into early warning networks. Car factories now produced parts for weapon systems. Children designed camouflage patterns that confused Hegemony visual sensors. In space, Kate Nelson implemented her new battle strategy. Earth's ships never attacked the same way twice. They appeared where the Hegemony least expected them, struck quickly, and disappeared. "They're getting frustrated," Kate told Alan after another successful raid. "Their battle formations are becoming less organized. They're making mistakes." Meanwhile, Lisa had made contact with a Vosh representative named Kethra. The Vosh looked almost human except for their purple skin and six-fingered hands. Kethra arrived secretly on Earth aboard a disguised transport. "My people have been watching the Hegemony for centuries," Kethra told the human leaders. "We were once like you, adaptive, creative. The Hegemony tried to destroy us because of it. How did you survive?" Lisa asked. Kethra smiled. "By becoming what they could not imagine, a species that lived in their blind spots. We hide in plain sight, working as servants, repair crews, and low-level workers. They think us broken and obedient now." The Vosh provided critical information about Hegemony weaknesses. Their communication systems were secure but predictable. Their supply lines followed fixed routes. Their command structure was rigid, with each decision requiring approval from multiple authorities. Using this knowledge, humans developed new strategies. They created false communication signals that confused Hegemony commanders. They attacked supply ships instead of warships. They forced the enemy to make quick decisions when their system required slow deliberation. 3 months into the war, the Hegemony launched an all-out attack on Earth's largest defense installation in North America. Their fleet darkened the sky above Colorado, thousands of ships preparing to fire. But Earth was ready. Susan's team had developed a new defensive system based on Hegemony technology, but modified in ways the aliens couldn't understand. When the Hegemony fired their weapons, the energy was absorbed, redirected, and sent back at them. Dozens of alien ships fell from the sky. The others retreated in confusion. In their command ship, Shikskrull received reports of the defeat with growing horror. "How is this possible?" demanded the Supreme Commander who had arrived from the Hegemony homeworld. "These humans have only known about our technology for months. They should not be able to use it against us." "That is what makes them dangerous," Shikskrull replied. "They take what they learn and transform it into something new. They do not simply use knowledge, they adapt it." On Earth, celebrations were short-lived. The Hegemony still had vastly superior numbers and technology. Humanity had won battles, but not the war. "They'll be back," Alan told the gathered leaders, "and they'll have new tactics." "So will we," Kate assured him. "We're changing our defenses daily. They can't prepare for what we'll do next, because we don't even know yet." Lisa received an urgent message from Kethra that evening. "The Hegemony is calling for their ultimate weapon," the Vosh warned. "They are summoning the Eternal Armada." "What's the Eternal Armada?" Lisa asked. Kethra's face showed real fear. "A fleet of 10,000 ships commanded by the most traditional, inflexible admirals in the Hegemony. They have never known defeat because they have never faced a truly adaptive enemy." Alan's expression was grim but determined. "Then they've never faced humans before." News of the Eternal Armada spread quickly. Earth had 2 weeks before its arrival. 2 weeks to prepare for the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Lisa worked day and night with Kethra to contact other subjugated species. The Vosh had secret networks throughout Hegemony territory. One by one, representatives from oppressed worlds agreed to help. "The Skreth will disrupt supply lines," Lisa told the Earth Defense Council. "The Jum can interfere with their communication systems. The Brel have promised to sabotage fuel depots." "Will it be enough?" asked the Russian president. "Honestly, no," Lisa admitted, "but it will create confusion at a critical time." Meanwhile, Susan had completed her most important project. She called Alan and Kate to her lab for a demonstration. "This is what will save us," she said, pointing to a small device on the table. It looked simple, just a black box with a few lights. "What is it?" Kate asked. "I call it the Sync Net," Susan explained. "It allows instant communication between all our forces, no matter the distance. More importantly, it uses a completely new type of quantum connection that the Hegemony can't detect or block." "How does that help us against 10,000 warships?" Alan asked. Susan smiled. "Because the Hegemony fleet is coordinated through strict chains of command. Orders flow from top to bottom, with each level requiring confirmation. It takes them minutes to adapt to new situations. And we'll be able to react instantly," Kate realized, her eyes lighting up. "Exactly," Susan nodded. "In space combat, seconds matter." The SyncNet was quickly installed on all Earth vessels and defense stations. For the first time, human forces could coordinate perfectly without delay. Alan developed a bold plan. Instead of concentrating Earth's defenses around the planet, he positioned ships in small groups throughout the solar system. The Hegemony expected humans to protect their homeworld above all else. They wouldn't expect Earth forces to be scattered. "We can't beat them with firepower," Alan explained. "So we'll beat them with surprise and coordination." 3 days before the Eternal Armada was due to arrive, Lisa received an unexpected message. More species wanted to join the fight against the Hegemony. Word had spread about Earth's resistance. "They're calling it the Freedom Alliance," Lisa told Alan with excitement. 3 more species have pledged ships to our cause." The day the Eternal Armada arrived, Earth seemed almost defenseless. Only a small force of ships guarded the planet. The massive Hegemony fleet, stretching as far as telescopes could see, approached with confidence. "Humans of Earth," came the transmission from the Armada's commander. "Your resistance ends today. Surrender now or be destroyed." Alan, standing on the bridge of the Defiant Asterisk, gave the signal. Now, across the solar system, human ships launched simultaneous attacks, not against the Armada itself, but against key Hegemony supply depots, communication relays, and command centers. At the same exact moment, rebellion erupted throughout hegemony space as the oppressed species rose up. The Eternal Armada suddenly found itself cut off from command, without clear orders, and with emergency signals coming from dozens of locations. "The beauty of their rigid system," Kate said as they watched the confusion unfold, "is that they don't know what to do without instructions from above." The Armada split its forces, sending ships to respond to multiple threats. This was exactly what Alan had planned for. As the hegemony ships dispersed, Earth's main fleet emerged from hiding behind the moon. With perfect coordination through the sync net, each human vessel knew exactly which target to attack and when. "They're expecting us to fight like them," Alan said, "with formations and frontal assaults. Instead, we'll fight like humans, adapting constantly, never doing what they expect." The space around Earth lit up with weapons fire. Human ships darted between the larger hegemony vessels, attacking from unexpected angles. When the hegemony adapted to one tactic, Earth forces immediately switched to another. On the hegemony command ship, panic was spreading. "They're everywhere at once," a commander reported. "Each ship acts independently, but somehow in perfect coordination with the others. We can't predict their movements." "This is impossible," the Supreme Commander declared. "No species can adapt battle tactics in real time across an entire fleet." But humans could, and as the first hegemony capital ships began to fall, the truth became clear. The Eternal Armada was facing its first defeat. The battle lasted 3 days. When it ended, the once mighty Eternal Armada was in ruins. Nearly half their ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest retreated to regroup, but their communication systems were in chaos thanks to the Freedom Alliance's coordinated sabotage. On the bridge of the Defiant Asterisk, Admiral Alan Wright watched the hegemony forces withdraw. His ship had taken heavy damage, but they had survived. "Did we just win?" asked a young officer. "A battle," Alan said, "not the war." But it was more than just a victory in space. Across hegemony territory, oppressed species were rising up. The news of Earth's success against the Eternal Armada, previously thought unbeatable, had sparked hope throughout the galaxy. 1 week after the battle, the Hegemony Council sent a message requesting peace talks. The Freedom Alliance leaders gathered on Earth to discuss the offer. "It's a trick," warned the Screth representative, his scaled skin glinting under the conference room lights. "They want time to rebuild their forces." "Perhaps," Lisa Carlson replied. "But this is also our chance to end the war before more lives are lost." They agreed to meet the hegemony delegation at a neutral location, an abandoned space station at the edge of the solar system. Alan insisted on heavy security, with Freedom Alliance ships positioned nearby. The hegemony sent Shik-Skrull himself to lead their delegation. He looked older, his gray skin now ashen, his tall frame slightly stooped. "The Hegemony Council wishes to discuss terms for peace," he announced when they sat at the negotiation table. "You mean surrender," corrected Kethra, the Vosh representative. "Your Eternal Armada has failed. Your subject species are in rebellion. Your precious order is collapsing." Shik-Skrull's expression remained calm. "We offer recognition of Earth's independence and territorial rights. In exchange, hostilities will cease." "Not enough," Lisa said firmly. "All species deserve the same freedom. The hegemony's days of domination are over." For 3 days they negotiated. The hegemony representatives fought to maintain their power, offering small concessions. But Lisa, with support from Alan and the other alliance members, pushed for complete reform. "Your system is based on the idea that stability requires control," Lisa told them during a tense session. "But true stability comes from adaptation and cooperation. Your fear of change has made you weak." On the final day, with reports of more uprisings throughout their territory, the Hegemony Council sent new instructions. Shik-Skrull read them with obvious reluctance. "The hegemony agrees to dissolve its current power structure," he announced. "A new galactic alliance will be formed, with all species having equal representation. 6 months later, representatives from 37 species gathered on Earth for the signing of the new Galactic Charter. The Great Hall of the United Nations had been expanded to host the historic event. Alan, now Fleet Admiral, watched from the side as Lisa, the newly appointed Earth ambassador, signed the document. "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" Susan asked, standing beside him. Her SyncNet technology was now being adapted for peaceful purposes, creating a galaxy-wide communication network. "Fighting off alien invaders. Sure, I watched enough science fiction as a kid," Alan joked. "No, changing the entire galaxy," Susan said seriously. Alan thought about it. Humans have always changed their environment. I guess the galaxy is just a bigger environment. After the ceremony, Jix approached them. He now served as a cultural liaison between former Hegemony worlds and the new alliance. "I still don't fully understand how you did it," he admitted. "Our technology was superior, our numbers greater, our experience vast. But your thinking was fixed," Kate Nelson replied, joining the conversation. "You saw only one path forward, while we saw countless possibilities." "The Hegemony believed adaptability was chaos," Lisa added, "but it's actually our greatest strength. We change, we grow, we try new things without fear of failure." Jix nodded slowly. "My people are learning this lesson now. It is uncomfortable, but necessary." 1 year after the war ended, humanity launched its first joint expedition with former enemy species. The ship was named *Adaptation*, and its mission was peaceful exploration. As it departed Earth orbit, Alan watched from the observation deck of the space station. "To think they feared us because we could change," he said to Lisa, who stood beside him. "Now the whole galaxy is changing," she replied. "And it's better for it." The *Adaptation* engaged its engines, designed by humans but built with Hegemony technology, and disappeared into the stars, carrying the legacy of human adaptability to new worlds.